Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of the pandemic version of the K Show. This week I'm in my living room, so that's exciting. So I guess you guys are getting a mini house tour as you guys are watching, but that's besides the point. So I'm sorry this show came out a little bit later than expected. This weekend was Mother's Day, as you know, and I work at a chocolate shop, and this is one of our busiest weeks of the year. So I've been working nonstop after school, dipping chocolate, answering phones, going online, doing all this fun stuff. And I finally got a chance to sit down and record the show. So here we are. This week, like always, I'll have your Corona updates, our good news, and this week we're going to have some recommendations for things to watch while you're still in this quarantine. So let's begin. So here's the coronavirus update for this week's episode. The world now has 4.1 million confirmed cases with 282,000 deaths. The U.S. alone is responsible for 1.36 million of those confirmed and over 80,000 deaths. Now, before we get on to the good news, I want to bring your attention to a film that came across my phone screen a couple days ago by the name of Plandemic. It is an interview of a former scientist that worked with Dr. Anthony Fauci and many other big names that are up there with the researchers. This film, while some may say is conspiratorial, it basically gives the public information into the medical research being done by the government in just 30 minutes. I would assume that the medical officials did not want the public to see because it has now been taken down from every platform it has been posted on. However, if you get the rare chance to watch it, please do. It's very eye-opening, to say the least. Now for our good news. The good news I have for you this week is our recovery numbers. Worldwide, over 1.4 million people have recovered from the virus, with over 282,000 in the U.S. On top of this, we are seeing the curve start to flatten, which makes me very hopeful. Super awkward, but my stand for my phone kind of broke during the last filming, so now I have to hold the phone with my hand, so that's why it looks different, but hopefully I'll have a new one for next week. But anyways, so as this coronavirus is dying down and quarantine is getting more boring as the minutes, I would assume, I figured I'd give you guys some movie recommendations, some that I enjoy that I just found, or some of my favorites. Typically, if it's not on Netflix or Hulu, I'll use 123 Movies, which I know is a bootleg website, but it does its purpose. So I don't know about you guys, but I've been kind of using movies as an escape from our day-to-day issues and problems that we've been having. So here goes nothing. So I have recently picked up an obsession with romantic, sappy, disgusting, girly movies that people who would look at me from afar would never, ever assume that I would be into something like that. But I think because of this quarantine, I've found a new obsession, I guess you could say. So my first movie that I would recommend to you is called The Longest Ride. It's a Nicholas Sparks novel. I know what you're thinking, trust me, but it's worth it. It follows a college art student at High Point University in North Carolina and her relationship with a professional bull rider who is coming back from a really, really bad injury. But yeah, so that was a really good movie. Another movie, which is probably my absolute favorite movie in the entire world, is called Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. It is on the complete opposite spectrum from romantic movies. It follows this no-name guy from the middle of nowhere who starts off as a crew member on a NASCAR team and makes his way up into being the actual driver, and then a whole bunch of other stuff goes down, but I'm not going to tell you, obviously, because that would be spoiling it, and it's my favorite movie, and I want it to be one of your favorites, too. But whatever. And the third movie I have is on the other side of the spectrum, and that would be a DC movie called Suicide Squad. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it already, But I'm not a big comic superhero villain movie, but I really enjoyed watching Suicide Squad with Will Smith and Margot Robbie and Cara Delevingne. So that's a good movie too. And just before I go, I want to just point out one more thing. I love watching stand-up comedians. Watching comedians is just it's just another escape for me. I get to sit there on the couch for an hour and a half and completely lose myself in this guy who's making me, or guy or girl, who's making me laugh so uncontrollably that I start crying and tossing and turning because I can't stop. Three of my favorites are obviously Kevin Hart, Gabriel Iglesias, or you might know him as Fluffy. And then there's another guy named Bert Kreischer, who's not as well known, but he is super duper funny. Thank you for watching yet another episode of my pandemic version of The K Show. If any of you guys decide to watch the movies or watch some of the comedians I recommended, let me know. Tell me what you think. I love to hear other people's opinions on things that I like or things that I don't like. So that's exciting. If you decide to watch it, let me know. So yeah, that's all I got for this week. Keep pushing through this quarantine. We got another 18 days of school. So seniors, let's ride it out. Keep pushing. And it's almost over. 2 more shows left, which is kind of crazy. But anyways, I hope you guys are all staying safe. And I miss you all. And I'll see you guys soon.